Take 4, Part 2. Gotta make sure. Take 4, Part 2 of my Resident Evil 7 idea. Gotta make sure I enunciate since I have a low voice. Like we said, the system will play more like kind of Operation Raccoon City, large amount of characters. So you're thinking that's gonna just be all action. Where's the survival? Well, I'm telling you, there's gonna be an option to choose from. Either the long-time Resident Evil fans will be able to choose from a survival horror option, which lowers the chance of items being dropped by enemies, lowers the chance of items being dropped whenever you crack open a supply bit, whenever you break open something, lower chance that there will be ammo or grenades or healing items or antiviruses, and it'll just make it towards the older one. The enemies will do more damage. You'll have to work on your timing to avoid any instant kill attacks. They'll have a lot more than if you're in the action. Health is scaled up for the enemies. They take more hits, so you gotta try and find their critical hit locations and work together to hit that. See, that'll then input a more short-term tactics and strategy into the game. While the more action, the pure action option the enemy's health will be scaled down lower, but there'll be more enemies. If you choose this option, bosses might even show up in different forms to try and compensate for the lower amounts of health, and then maybe they'll do more damage because they're bosses. Just because the enemies, though, might be in bigger number and maybe weaker, doesn't always mean that they're going to do no damage to you. They'll do damage. They'll be like Crimson Heads, who will have a higher chance of infecting you or some form of that. Maybe there'll be enemies who have some form of ranged attack. You don't want to face a huge horde of those, so you gotta be careful. So it just adds that sense of, larger amounts of enemies, more ammo, or smaller amounts of enemies but really powerful, less ammo. You gotta kind of work that through with your team in a sense. And so that's basically it. The game's going to in itself have atmosphere. It's going to have the music that shows this is still going to be scary despite maybe we're in the action setting. There will be those jump scares of maybe zombies crashing out through a window, falling off from the roof of an apartment onto you, dealing damage to you and trying to grapple you, and maybe that'll lead to an instant kill if you fail or your teammates don't pull it off you. Something that can add a sense of unknowing, is a zombie or a BOW gonna pop out of this pothole? So, this manhole. So, yeah. So, comment down below, and tell me if you think this sounds good. Give me feedback, and if you need any questions answered, ask me and I'll try and answer that. So this is StarCraft Gamer 97 signing out.